Welcome to Millionaire Agents Secrets, uncovering the hidden gems to help you become the next $1 million agent. And here's your host, Milton Player.
Welcome to Millionaire Agents Secrets. I'm your host, Milton Player, and I have with me today superstar real estate agent from Hunters Hill, McGrath, John Paranchi. How are you, John?
Yeah, good, Milton. How are you?
Really good. So you've consistently ranked in the top 10 of McGrath's 800 plus network for quite a while, haven't you?
Yeah, it's been a good run, especially with so many good salespeople around you. It's good to be up there.
Yeah, definitely. And you were the first agent to sell a property over $4 million, I think.
Oh, that was years ago. The first Gladesville, Tennyson Point and Putney sale, which is my core area, over $4 million. I think it sold for 4.3 mil. Oh, that must have been 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's fantastic breaking records, mate. That's what you want to do.
Absolutely.
All right, well, let's start with an interesting question. What social group were you in school? And how has that affected your decisions in the career that you went into and the choices you've made in life?
Yeah, great question. It was so long ago, I almost can't remember. Back at school, I left school in 1988, so yeah, some time ago. But mate, yeah, I used to hang around with just about everybody. I was pretty close to all the footy heads, all the jocks, as you'd call them. But had a really good circle of friends, many of who I still speak to now. Everyone's gone on to do different things. Some are extremely successful, some are not so successful. Luckily, I've stayed close to the guys that are pretty successful, and I think that sort of molds you from a young age.
Yeah, definitely, without a doubt, absolutely. And so, did you go to school locally? So you were from Ryde, weren't you?
Yeah, mate. I was born in Ryde Hospital. I went to St Charles in Ryde, and then I went to Holy Cross Ryde. So, mate, I'm local, born and bred, and still working in the area where basically I live.
So that must help a lot when you're trying to get listings, being known already in the area. You'd have friends and family, et cetera, et cetera.
Absolutely. One of the benefits of growing up in an area is you're playing sport in the area, you're going to school in the area, so you're meeting people from a very young age, and through sport and schooling and all that sort of stuff, you've already got a network, and then you just got to build on that. You walk. The good thing is about living in the area, I think, is you walk down the street, you run into people that you know. You have talk about. I'm at the gym this morning. I'm speaking to people about real estate. I'm at the local cafe. I'm speaking to people about real estate, and I try and take advantage of that. I try and have my meetings off-site, so I sit at the local cafe, have 2 or 3 appointments there in a row. And you know what? You're having your meeting with your clients, but you're also seeing prospects, and people are seeing you interact with other people, which I think is pretty important. Yeah,
exactly. They're seeing you working. So how long have you been in real estate now?
Yeah, I think just over 25 years now. I started in a small local business called Zarrow Real Estate.
Okay.
Small family-owned business. They're no longer in business, but I'm close to Peter and David, who are the owners of the business. I stayed there for a little while, went on to Richardson and Wrench at Ryde, which was the biggest office in Ryde at that point. From there, I went to Ray White. So I was at Ray White for about 4 or 5 years, and then the business was sold, and I ended up at McGrath. Just over 15 years ago. I think almost 16 years ago.
Gee, and that's McGrath at Hunters Hill, isn't it?
Yeah, when I first started at McGrath, there was no McGrath Hunters Hill. I think there was Edgecliff, Cremorne, Leichhardt, and Mona Vale. And mate, I ended up in the Mona Vale office. So I was up at Mona Vale with Jill.
Nice.
Yeah, and my core area was basically maintain my relationships around Gladesville, Putney, and Ryde, and try and get into that Upper North Shore market, which was, I think, the next progression for the office, going from Mona Vale to opening up an office around the Upper North Shore.
Yeah, no, fantastic. Well, it's a great area, Hunters Hill. I used to be at Drummoyne at Warwick Williams there for a long time, and that was great fun.
Good operator, Warwick.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? Isn't it? Really nice guy. Really nice guy. So what's your team like now? Do you have a team around you?
Absolutely. A team of 4, which includes me. So I have someone doing all the marketing and admin. Also my personal marketing and PA. So I've got Jen that helps with all the admin, and Ash, for example, will do all the vendor marketing. speak to our clients, make sure that they're sort of, from listing to first open for inspection. She's in charge. Jen's in the background doing all the admin and preparation work. And then I've got Phil who does my prospecting and buyer management as well. So, yeah, once again, from listing to first open, Ash is doing her thing, Jen's doing her thing, and Phil and I are on the phone to our buyers, inviting them along to our first open. Yeah,
that's good. And how does that work with the prospecting? Do you find that quite an easy transition from when he finds them? Is he door knocking? Is that what he's doing, or making phone calls? Yeah,
he's awesome. He loves door knocking. He sort of gets the shits if he's got to do too much admin. So I'm trying to take as much admin away from him so he can get out there and meet people. And he's genuine and absolutely loves it. And he's only been with me now for about 4 or 5 weeks, and he's probably his contact list is probably about 30 or 40 already, which I think is pretty impressive. Coming from a new area, he's originally from Queensland. He used to work in McGrath Palm Beach up there, transitioned back down to Sydney because his family's down here, and he's hit the ground running, and I think he's gonna do some great things.
Yeah, and that sounds fantastic. And a great idea too, good initiative, huh?
Oh, absolutely. Once again, I'm lucky in that I've been in the area for a while, so I've got my clients, but I want to look after my clients. I just need someone there to build my database as well, and that's where Phil comes in and does a wonderful job, as does Ashley and Jen. They're both integral, and everyone's job is just as important as the next person.
Yeah, and you're extremely successful. So what do you think you do that makes you so good?
That's an awesome question.
Yeah.
I sometimes ask myself the same thing. I think it comes down to sort of being in the area for a long period of time and just sort of, I really want to look after my clients. I just want to make sure that, if I do business with someone once, I want that to be the beginning of a relationship. As you can tell, I've been doing it for a long time. I've been in the same area for a long time, so I'm committed to doing the right thing, getting that repeat business. And, we spend so much money and time looking for new people or new business that, we sometimes neglect the ones that we've already done business with. So, that's my priority, looking after my clients, helping wherever I can. I do a lot of community stuff as well, which I think helps.
Yeah.
But I think working in the same area for a long period of time definitely gives me a little bit of an advantage.
It helps you build, doesn't it? And you get momentum as you go. Some people, it can take a year before they really even take off, I've seen over the years.
Years, if you can take off in a year, I think you're doing well. It's pretty tough, especially if you're new into the industry. It takes a lot of hard work and so on and so forth. But once again, I think being in the area for a long period of time definitely helps. Living in the area and just giving a shit, looking after your clients and doing the right thing. You can't make everybody happy, but you know what? If you can get it right, 9.75 times out of 10, I think you're doing okay.
Yeah, we should do a training course called Giving a Shit, shouldn't we?
Yeah, well, that's sort of that's what it comes down to, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. It's amazing. So who motivates you? Who's influenced you over the years?
It's probably changed. I think probably my family. Why do I do what I do? I love what I do. There's no doubt about it. You have good days, you have bad days, just like every industry. But I think I think my family, making sure that I can provide for them and give them, all the little things, maybe all the things that I didn't have growing up. I'd like to be in a position where I can give that to them.
Yeah, they say that the obligation to yourself doesn't help as much as it does being obligated to someone else, and the motivation you get from that is amazing. So, so it's fantastic. And with your area, the Hunters Hill area, so tell us a little bit about the area.
Yeah, I'm based in Hunters Hill, but I traditionally sort of look after places, Gladesville, Tennyson Point and Putney, which are sort of suburbs adjoining Hunters Hill. And they're all very different. Gladesville's a character sort of area. There's a lot of, beautiful wide streets, nice character homes. But there's also, there's the water side, there's the character, and then there's the probably more the workers' cottages and so on, a little bit closer to Victoria Road and places like Higginbotham Road and Buffalo Road, which are a little bit more sort of industrial.
Yeah.
Then you go down Morrison Road and you come to a little place called Tennyson Point where, there's probably 20 sales a year. If that, I think last year there were 14. So very small suburb, a handful of streets. On the point there, so some high-end properties. I think the highest sale price down there is about $5.9 million. And then we move into Putney, which, 20 years ago, in fact, my first listing in real estate was in Putney. It was number 16 Policia Road. And I remember walking into the office with David Zarrow at the time. And I said, David, I've got a listing. He goes, mate, fantastic. Where is it? I said, it's in Putney. He goes, mate, why are you wasting your time down there? Used to be housing commission, little fibro shacks on the river, mangroves, mosquitoes, smell. Then we got the Olympics, and all of a sudden it started cleaning up. Now, no more housing commission, no more mosquitoes, no more mangroves. And every land value at the moment is hovering around $2 million. So people are buying, spending $2 million, knocking down and rebuilding. So Putney's gone through a bit of a transformation, but every area is a little bit different, and the type of people buying into the area are a little bit different as well.
And that's what investors need to know, isn't it? That's where the key and the art with investing is finding those areas like Putney, getting into them when they're just starting to get gentrified or before they do, and manoeuvring that sort of ratio.
Absolutely.
So what about marketing? How do you market yourself? What do you find are the best ways?
Yeah, okay. In relation to marketing, we do a lot of high-end stuff. I think we do a lot of reporting and showcases and things like that. So what we try and do with our marketing is make sure it looks professional, make sure it's informative. So it's not about chest beating. It's not about, I'm wonderful, I'm the best. It's just giving people a bit of an overview of what's going on in the area. Some recent sales, a combination of our sales and our competitors. And we also try and do some sort of community plug at every time. So we might sort of, there could be a Huntersville Rugby who we sponsor, or Blaisville Ravens who we sponsor, or one of the local schools. So if they've got an upcoming event, we like to promote that. And we also like to promote a local business. So I'll do a newsletter every month. And apart from a bit of an overview from me about what's going on locally, an overview from John McGrath, something that's happening locally, some case studies, some sales, and a local business. And it just works really well. So you're supporting your community. You're giving the punters some information about what's going on in the marketplace, rather than just saying, if you're thinking of selling, sell with me because I'm the best side. And we do it consistently. And just little things for me. Open for inspections. I think you've got to have world class opens. And John McGrath talks about world class open for inspections all the time. The reality is, if someone's thinking of buying or selling, they're sussing you out. As they are your competition. So you've got to be ahead of your competition. One thing that I'm sort of getting a little bit more involved in at the moment is social media. And I would have said 3 years ago, I was interviewed a few years ago, and I said it was on the bottom of my list. But that's slowly creeping up the list. I still think that, you're face to face and being seen out in the community and getting good results and being consistent with your marketing is still a priority, and looking after your existing clients and your past clients, still priority. But I think social media is gaining a little bit of momentum. But it won't take away the face to face.
Yeah, no, it won't. And if you say you list a property, where are you finding is in your area the best places to market it?
Yeah, the internet. I think internet and relationships are probably the biggest source for us of getting buyers. So existing relationships with buyers through open for inspections and so on. So it's pretty easy these days. You list a property for sale, you put it online, you turn up to an open for inspection. Clearance rates are hovering at 80%. So that tells me that just about every property is going to sell, and any agent's going to sell anything. But we don't rest on our laurels. We want to get on the phone to our buyers. At the end of the day, the more times I speak to a buyer, the more information I'm getting. The more information I get, the better equipped I am to negotiate the best price for my vendor. So property goes live, Phil and I are on the phone, or just before it goes live, Phil and I are on the phone inviting our buyers to come to the first open for inspection. Okay, so if we've sold a property similar, we get on and go through our open for inspection list and invite those guys along. The good thing about that is, it's like, hey, Milton, it's John calling from, I hope you're well. I met you at Smith Street, Blaisville a couple of months ago. Have you bought a property? No, I haven't. Great, you're still looking to buy. Excellent. Well, we've got something coming up. I've only just got the photos in. Can I just grab your email address or confirm your email address so I can shoot you through the photos?
Yeah.
I'll keep in mind too. Perfect. By the way, have you Have you had a crack at anything recently? Oh yeah, mate. We sort of, we had a bid on Jones Street. Oh, that sold for 3.5. Where did you sort of finish up on that? Oh, we were there at 3.45, but that was our limit. Bang, 3.45. So they come on to the property that I've invited them to. John, we love the property. Here's an offer of 3.3, and I'm thinking, well, shit, I know you've got 3.5 to spend.
Yeah.
So just little things like that, and just making sure we look after our buyers. And I've been doing that for years, and I get phone calls all the time from people who I didn't sell a property to, and they turn around and say, listen, John, you may or may not remember us, but we bought a property in Gladesville 7 years ago. We didn't buy through you, but you were one of the only agents that helped us and followed us up and so on. We're thinking of selling, come chat to us. Mm-hmm. So yeah, just making sure you sort of you use those relationships that you with the buyers that you've met over the previous open inspections. Yeah,
I think you've touched on two of the most important things, and that is caring and building the relationships properly, and actually working. The work ethic with calling buyers makes a massive difference, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and laziness seems to get a lot of agents. They get found out. I think Warren Buffett once said, and this is what will happen when the market changes. When the tide goes out, all the naked people get exposed. And so,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, so just, once again, just the little things. And agents get lazy. They get a couple of listings and it's like, oh, I've got a couple of listings. Oh, I'm too busy to call my buyers. And then the market's good enough. So you're right. We're probably, for the better agents, I think, the tougher the market is, the better they are, and I think people at that point appreciate the agent that's got a little bit more experience, a little bit more skill, a few more relationships and so on.
Yeah, that's right. They can make things happen the others can't. Because you're right now, anyone can sell anything in our areas. It's just whether they're getting the highest price is the other thing, isn't it, really?
Oh, that's right. That's exactly right.
Yeah, exactly. So you go to a listing and you have to sell yourself. How long do you normally spend at a listing?
My listings are very much question-based. So I try not to talk too much about me or the brand. What I'm trying to do is just, get an understanding of what it is they need and just trying to find a solution for them. I think you do go through and sort of talk about your database and how your team works and so on and so forth, and, looking at comparable sales within reason. But at the end of the day, it's just, getting an understanding of what the client wants and needs and trying to sort of build a solution for that problem, and that's it. So it's very question based. I'm not that structured. I just want to go in there, have a bit of a chat, go away, put something together, and then go back and present.
Right. Yeah. And obviously you've got your brand behind you, so that's probably the thing that you use most when you're pitching for the business when you go back. Is it more pitching the brand then and the marketing?
Yeah, listen, I think brand and marketing, there's a lot of good brands out there. There's a lot of good marketing. Let's face it, real estate, I think, has come a long way over the last 5 odd years. Everyone's getting better at everything, which is good because it keeps everybody on their toes. So I try not to focus too much on brand, and I don't focus too much on marketing because you know what, everyone goes on Premiere and Premium. Everyone's got a signboard. Everyone's got brochures. Everyone's got nice photos. What I try and sort of focus on is the strategy and the process. For me, that's probably the most important thing. People like to talk about price. I just remember I had a client once and we couldn't figure out what the property was worth. I thought it was worth 1.5. Ray White thought 1.45, and the vendor thought 1.55.
Yeah.
And it was like, and he said to me, he goes, John, we're doing this all wrong. He goes, let's focus on the process, and the price will take care of itself. And it was 100% right. We're all wrong because it sold for about 1.8.
Yeah.
So, I try and sort of take price out of the equation where possible, and just really focus on getting all the little things right. Making sure that we've priced it realistically, making sure that we've got it beautifully presented. Our marketing is pretty good, so we've got no issues there. And then just getting on the phone and doing all the hard work and just communicating with our purchasers and communicating with our vendors and just being honest with them. I think communication and honesty are probably the two most important things. So just focus on what we actually do, how we do it, what we do on a daily basis that's going to help them get the best price for their property, rather than sort of saying, listen, I've sold 100 properties and I've done this and McGrath's this and McGrath's that. Let's focus on the process. Be very detailed about that. And that's my presentation. So a little bit on the brand, a little bit on myself, but mainly let's focus on the process and the strategy.
Yeah, because it's really the person you're selling yourself, really, aren't you? So by asking questions and coming across real and authentic helps massively.
Oh, absolutely, Milton. A real estate agent, mate, we can sit there and talk in front of a client for 2 hours.
Yeah.
But is it necessary? Are we sort of, are we getting the information that we need to be able to make a recommendation to them that's appropriate for their situation? And by talking, you're not listening. If you're not listening, well, you can't present the right strategy to the client. Simple as that.
Yeah, exactly. A thing I notice too with a lot of people is that their perception levels are very low. So they're not really seeing what the client's thinking or what's going in their head, and they'll babble and babble and babble. Yeah. And, in 5 minutes, the owner was bored with them and they're going for half an hour.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, yeah, it all comes in. And I suppose life experience as well helps a lot too, doesn't it? With that, what about mistakes over the years? Have you got any gems for us and what you've learned from any mistakes that you've made? Because in reality, that's where we learn.
Yeah, I think you sort of you almost make mistakes every day.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, probably none that are massive. But I think one of the biggest mistakes I make sometimes is, and I've got to learn from these, and something I just never do. It's if someone, no matter what, if someone tells you that, John, you're the man, we're going to list with you, we're going to do this with you. You know what? You can't ease off. You've got to continue speaking to them as if they're going to list with someone else. So you've got to maintain that communication and relationship. Because sometimes when you get that sort of feedback from someone, and it happened to me recently. I was there, I sold him the property, and I went down and we had a bit of a chat, and his kid's a great soccer player and this, that and the other. And I walk out and he goes, listen, John, he goes, mate, we've always liked you, so we'll touch base when we're ready. Look, great, okay, that's the listing, put it on the board as an upcoming potential, and away we go. Anyway, I called a few weeks later. I said I wouldn't bother him, but I called a few weeks later, he didn't call back, and then I called another couple of weeks after that. And he goes, oh mate, listen, we're thinking we're going to list with someone else. Oh. And I just said to them, I said, well, okay, so what went wrong? And he goes, oh, my wife's been speaking to so-and-so, and he actually got a really good relationship with him. And, and that was it. I misread the situation because they told me they were going to list with me and they liked me and all that sort of stuff. I sort of took the foot off the pedal, probably didn't present as well as I should have, and, I'm going to miss out on that business. So no matter what, if someone tells you that you're going to get the business and you're wonderful, and I get it all the time, it's like, John, if we ever sell, we're going to sell with you. Don't take the foot off the accelerator. Make sure you keep in touch, maintain the relationship, and probably communicate with them even more.
Yeah, that's an absolutely beautiful one too. And it's like sporting teams when they get complacent. It's a similar thing, isn't it? They get complacent, and then the next game they lose just because they thought it was a no-brainer.
Exactly, you're 100% right.
Yeah, and I noticed that too. We talk about this a lot ourselves with timing, how you may be their number one person, but the timing of something, an agent could sell them a house and talk them into it because they're dealing with, suave agents or timing. They could just be at the door at the right time, meet them at the right place, meet them socially. Anything could happen. So exactly. Yeah, that is a fantastic one for everyone to listen to.
And I just find that people sort of, logically, they might be sort of saying, oh, we're going to use this agent. He's the right agent for us. He's sold for all our friends. We like him. He's sponsored the local school, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's the logic. Then the emotion steps in. Another agent walks in and says, oh, no, well, how much did they say? Oh, 2 million. We'll get you 2.25. Oh, we can do the same as them. And, how much do they charge? They're expensive, aren't they? Well, no, we charge a lot less. And all of a sudden, the client goes from being in a logical state to an emotional state. And with in an emotional state, you make emotional decisions, which aren't always right.
Mm-hmm. And that old one, I've got the buyer.
I've got the buyer, yeah.
Yeah.
Got him locked up in my booth. He's not looking at any other houses. He's not speaking to any other agents.
Exactly. Yeah, it should be mafia real estate, huh? So I can prove it. How are you finding your competitors? Are they because the market's booming, are they trying to undercut and all that sort of thing? Are they using new innovative products or innovative systems that you're noticing?
Oh, listen, I don't know that there's anything whiz bang out there that's sort of making a real difference. Competitors are out there. Everyone's looking for stock. We're lucky. I had 10 properties open on the weekend, so I've got more stock than most others in my marketplace. But with that, comes a lot of desperation. So you've got a lot of newer agents that haven't been around for a while, and whilst they're not dominating, you've got 5 new agents in a marketplace, and they're out there hustling, as Tom would say. They're out there hustling. They might get 5 listings a year, but that's 5 opportunities that we're missing out on. So that's where the competition's really sort of getting in there. They're not dominating. I still consider us to be the market leaders in our marketplace. In fact, I know we are.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, but other agents are chipping away, and they're just taking away opportunities that we would normally get. So, but I think once the market changes, once the market gets back into a bit of a normal state and clearance rates get back to a normal state at 65 to 70% rather than 80 to 85%, where prices aren't going up as much. Like you said earlier, I think a lot of people will probably start to leave the industry because they realise it's not that easy, and I think vendors will then start making decisions based on who is the logical choice rather than the agent that's going to quote them a high figure and a low commission, because any property can sell at the moment. Yeah.
Now I'm looking forward to the bad times. They're much more fun.
Absolutely. We don't want to see any crashes or anything. We just want to ease off a little bit and level out. A little bit more clearance rates to sort of drop off a little bit and, more sustainable growth.
Yeah, exactly. If you were starting from scratch today, what is one thing that you would do?
Coach?
Yeah. I'll get a coach. Yep. Gotcha. Yep.
Yeah. No, you talk about sport. You mentioned sporting teams earlier. They train every day. They've got a coach, and I think that a coach is one of the most important things you can do.
Yeah.
And if you can't afford a coach for whatever reason, there are a lot of good sort of blogs and podcasts and things like this one here, and there's your Josh Vegans and your Tom Panoses and things like that. And if still that's not an option, probably try and catch up with someone who's successful. Doesn't have to be in your brand, in your market. It could be anyone. James Tosterman. People fly down to Melbourne to watch James Tosterman prospect, and just little things like that. So there are a lot of opportunities out there, and what you normally find is the good agents, the successful agents, are usually happy to hear from someone who's new in the industry to catch up for a cup of coffee and pick their brain. So coach, those podcast things, and if you can't do that, find someone or find a few people that are successful. Doesn't matter what area they're in. Give them a call. They'll be happy to hear from you. Shout them a cup of coffee and spend half an hour with them. So surround yourself with people.
Yeah, I agree. This is definitely one industry you can't do it by yourself, isn't it? You go mental. You would just you'd be in a facility.
Yes. So I've been up for 25 years. I still sometimes I should be in a facility.
Yeah. Yeah, there should be a special real estate salesperson facility for all of us. And then we've got the family to deal with that don't understand what we're going through, huh?
Well, I'm sort of lucky in that my wife was an ex-property manager, so she did all. So, mate, if you can do property management for 11 years, you can put up with anything or anyone.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Oh, you've got a winner there. You got a keeper. So, what's the strangest or let's say funniest thing that's ever happened to you in real estate?
But I sound pretty boring, but
Nothing.
No. Nothing out of the order. I haven't walked in on anyone sort of, doing what they shouldn't be doing or anything like that. I haven't opened the house and found a dead body. So, no, nothing. Pretty boring.
Yeah. So, and you haven't made any you haven't seen anyone fall over or made any disastrous mistakes?
Oh, listen, a couple of people trip and open for inspections and things like that. But apart from that, mate, unfortunately, nothing springs to mind that I would say was out of the ordinary.
Wow, you've got a calm life.
Yeah, I think I do. Boring, isn't it?
I'll set something up for you, mate. We'll make sure we do a practical joke on you.
Yeah, we'll do like what are those shows? Those prank shows or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, now I'm going to be on edge. Thanks, Milton.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You will never know when it comes. What's your negotiating style? Like your negotiating style?
Face to face where possible.
Mm.
Both with purchasers and vendors. I like to I like to be in front of someone. I like to see their reactions and things like that. I like to listen. For example, I've got an offer on a property. So the offers come in $3.4 million, and what I heard was, okay, listen, I don't know that that's going to be enough to do it at this point in time.
Yeah.
And then they sort of cut in and say, well, listen, that's a starting point. Okay, starting point. Well, there's a little bit of room to move there. I said, listen, if your offer of $3.4 million is not accepted, what would your next offer be? Now, 50% of people are going to turn around and say, well, listen, John, take that offer to them and let us know what they say. Now, these people turn around and say, well, listen, we'd probably go up another 50, maybe 75. So bang, we've already got a $50,000, $75,000 increase for our client. So just ask them questions. Look at people as we're negotiating, both with our vendors and purchasers, and just calm. I think once again, patient. I'm patient, and I think that's important. Rather than, oh, listen, I want to make an offer. It's like, great, send me an offer. It's like, oh, well, we've got an offer. Ring the vendor. I've got an offer. What do I want to do? And it's like, I don't think we should take it. It's like, oh, are you sure? It's like, yeah, okay. Well, I need more money. That's not my style, and probably was 20 years ago when you're just starting out. You're just excited to have an offer. But now I think you just got to be calm. You've got to be patient. You've got to listen. You've got to ask the right questions, and where possible, I think you've got to be face to face with your client.
Yeah. No, it's beautiful. Love it. Now, you've got 3 children, haven't you?
2.
Yeah, 2. That's what I said. And both boys?
No, boy and a girl, twins.
See, if I'd have got that right, you would have wondered how I like to try and guess that one, just try and freak people out. I was thinking Italian. I'll go with 3.
Yeah, mate, listen, pretty good guess. Most people I know have got 3, but no, we ended up with the twins. We had a boy and a girl straight off the bat, and that was, I think that was, that's awesome. Yeah, don't want to throw the balance out. And not just that, we've had one set of twins, and the chances of having another set are pretty high. So,
no way. That's incredible. I don't know how people can do that. It's just so hard. Twins.
Oh, the twin. You know what? Initially, yes, but once they sort of got a little bit older, 6 months onwards, it was easy. They sort of had each other to keep themselves entertained.
Yeah.
And one thing we've done is we stuck to routines with them, and it's just worked out a treat. They are the best kids ever. They're just great kids. They get on like a house on fire, or probably more like an old married couple. When they're playing together, they're awesome, and yet they have some doozies, as we all do. But no, they're good kids.
How old are they now?
They'll be 9 in December.
Okay, beautiful.
It's a good age.
It's a brilliant age, yeah. I noticed you got a lot of books behind you. So is there any book you'd recommend that you've read?
Yeah. I just finished reading Andre Agassi's book. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, it's good. And Richard Branson's book, that's always a good read as well. I'm not a massive reader. I like biographies rather than motivational books. I get bored with motivational books. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, they all start saying the same thing after a while, don't they?
Well, that's right. I'd rather spend my time rather than reading, just listening to the right people, surrounding myself with the right people. Podcasts, training, etc. That's more my style rather than sitting down and reading a motivational book. Yeah,
no, definitely. Well, let's do some lightning round questions.
Yep.
So just quick answers. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Always have polished shoes.
Yes, very good.
My dad, when he was alive, when I was at school, he used to polish my shoes every morning for me. And I pretty much continued that tradition. I've actually got a listing before. I asked the client why they gave me the listing. They said, your shoes were the most polished every time we met you.
Beautiful. Yeah, it shows diligence, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Okay, so what's one of your personal habits that you feel strongly contributes to your success?
Hour of power. So 2 things, probably hour of power and to coincide with that, a call list. I need a call list in front of me. I lock myself in a room for an hour and a half, and I make my calls. It could be 20 calls a day, and that's it. Most of my calls are warm or hot.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Hour of Power, sensational. What piece of technology or equipment or app can't your business live without anymore?
Oh God, good question. Listen, just nice and simple. The iPhone.
Yeah.
Well, my phone, your email, your text messaging, and so on. That's all you need.
Yeah.
I don't know how to use half of them.
It's almost all you need in life now, that iPhone, isn't it?
Pretty much. Yeah. Once again, you've got your text messaging, your email, and you can actually make phone calls with it as well, which is, pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. Added bonus.
For how long, who knows?
Okay. How would you prove to your clients that you'll do a better job than anyone else?
For me, it's probably case studies, track records, past clients.
Yep. And you've got some great case studies and track record.
Absolutely. The track record helps, but once again, you can't rest on your laurels. You're only as good as your last sale. So yeah, just really focusing on those things. Just the track record for me. Using my past clients where necessary. I'm happy to provide names and numbers of my clients. I'm happy for my prospective vendor to pick 10 houses that I've sold without me giving them which houses, because it's easy. The only names and phone numbers you ever give to a potential seller are the ones that are going to react positively. Yeah. Give the vendor, say, here are my last 20 sales. You pick the 5 people whose name and number you want, so you can call them. So therefore, you know what, I'm not influencing which ones I'm picking and which ones I'm not.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So what's your favourite sport to play or watch?
Yeah, sport I watch. I like it. I follow soccer. I follow the English Premier League. I follow Liverpool. And what I'm playing, I play squash 3 times a week.
Very good. Well, yeah, soccer's massively taking off with the kids now, isn't it? I remember when rugby league used to be the thing, and now you don't see any rugby league shirts anymore. It's all soccer shirts.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I think it's really sort of taken off with the A-League at the moment. Australian soccer's certainly come a long way. I don't watch as much Australian soccer as
nor do I.
Yeah, I'm probably more into the overseas stuff.
Yeah, agreed. You see more of the talent. We actually, my son, because they played soccer their whole lives, and he tried to organise a weekend soccer comp and got in trouble with the local people and said, you can't do that. Yeah, so he changed the email that went around school to just, we're going to have a kick around. And for the last 4 years, every Sunday for 3 hours, we basically play. Parents come, they play as well, kids, and 22, 24, 26 people playing for 3 hours. There's this one guy comes from Mossman to play, him and his child, German guys.
Where do you play?
Hey, that's in Wentworth Halls.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, he comes from Mossman to Wentworth Halls.
Awesome.
Yeah, no. So good fun. Okay, well, I think we've pretty much wrapped up most of the things we need to ask. Just probably one final thing. What's your best kept secret?
Best kept secret? I'll probably go back to the family. Yeah, I really feel that they're a big motivator and so on. And as long as they're happy and comfortable, it sort of just motivates you to go out there and work harder and do what you can. The other thing is probably balance. At the moment, balance is very important to me. I like spending time with my wife and kids. So I'm just really focused on the things that I need to do. And, I've got enough confidence in the people around me to take care of all the other stuff. So
do you have any routines that you normally go through each week?
I try. I'm at the gym just about every day. I'm either playing squash or I have personal training. I think with the personal training, it's good to have. It's like having a coach, isn't it? You've got someone there to just make sure you're doing everything right and push you. And then you've got the competitive element, the squash. The guy I play against. He chases everything. It gives me the shit. So you've got to be on top of your game every time just to beat him. But that's the competition, which I really like. So I've got that. Mondays for me are traditionally in the office, calls on the phone, follow-ups from the weekend, vendor updates. Tuesday, I'm on the road most of the day. Wednesday, in the office, a couple of appointments maybe. Early mark if I can, pick up the kids from school, do some admin. Thursday, on the road all day. We've opened for inspections and appointments. And Friday for me is a day off. So Friday is either a game of golf or a really long lunch.
Nice. That sounds good. I like your life.
Yeah, no, that's, obviously after 25 years, you can sort of, you can make things like that happen. You couldn't do that when you were just starting. But yeah, I feel I've got some good balance there, and that works for me. And I like my routine. Yeah. For example, I play a personal training the same time every week, squash the same time every week. I get my hair cut once a week at the same time. So I'm pretty regimented and things like that, and have my little sort of routines.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same, mate. I think that's what you have to do to stay consistent. You have to keep them the same times, don't you? Or else you've got excuses.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you, mate. I really appreciate it, John. There was some fantastic stuff there. So, yeah, absolutely brilliant stuff. So I appreciate it very much, mate. Thank you.
My pleasure, mate. Thank you very much. Thanks, Milton.
And I'll see you again soon.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you for listening to Millionaire Agents Secrets. Want 5 times more listings? Go to www.miltonplayer.com for a free cheat sheet.